Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here with some more awesome history. We're on to Vlad, the Impaler. Yeah, it's only a two-part series. I know we just finished Michael the Brave, so if you're new here, definitely check that out. That was a really cool series. Uh, and yeah, Vlad the Impaler. I have heard, obviously, I think everyone's probably heard of Vlad the Impaler. I know that he got the Impaler part, I believe, like his enemies, he impaled on spikes, if I remember correctly. I think I've actually seen like a part of a documentary like years and years and years ago. Uh, and I just remember it on, and that's why it's called Vlad the Impaler on spikes. And I remember that was part of the reason that was part of I guess part of the inspiration for he was part of the inspiration for Dracula. And then when you guys let me know in the comments that it was because he drank the blood, so sometimes drank the blood of his victims. That's how he was how Dracula was inspired by him, kind of thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, so yeah, Vlad the Impaler. So so pretty much on spikes, drinks blood of his victims. So pretty much a very ruthless person, very ruthless. I'm actually really curious to see kind of how ruthless if they actually mention that kind of stuff in this little two-part series. Uh, Battle of Targoviste. I don't know how you pronounce that. Uh, so it says the Vlad impaled the rise. I'm assuming this is how he became Vlad the Impaler. Like, how is he like a king or an emperor or something? I'm guessing that crown on his head. Just look at the picture now. There's a crown on his head. I guess so. I guess he was a king. He was some kind of leader anyway, right? Uh, but yeah, I guess this is a battle. It's a two-part. I think it's the same battle. So I guess this is how he became the big shot he is. I don't think this is like his life or anything. I think it's just a battle. I could be wrong. I mean, they might after the battle, or they could say it happens later. I mean, he could die in the battle. I don't know. I don't know anything. uh, and yeah, oh, and also want to say that I know that apparently, I guess Wellington or something from Epic History came out. Like, is that the next episode of Napoleon? I thought Napoleon was done, or is this like, is this a one-off, or is it basically a continuation of Napoleon series? Maybe some of you guys let me know because, and I guess I plan on doing that because it's just one video. After I do this two-part series, then I'm going to get to that because I know I'm going to get some. I've already had a few comments saying that was released, but I kind of wanted to do Vlad the Impaler first because I just finished Michael the Brave and they're kind of connected. So why my mind was still fresh on Michael the Brave. I'm gonna do Vlad the Impaler, and then I'm gonna catch up with that episode, and then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but that's the plan as of now. But yeah, we're on Vlad the Impaler, man. Like this picture right here. Anytime I do a video, I just kind of put the you know, I just basically search Vlad the Impaler, and a bunch of like creepy pictures popped up, and I just picked one of the creepiest pictures to put on there. So that's kind of how that is. So it also gets me really excited because Michael the Brave, when I searched for him, you pretty much all got the same kind of picture. There wasn't anything really unique and different about those pictures. Obviously the story in Michael the Brave and everything is really awesome. But when I was searching Vlad the Impaler, a bunch of different stuff pops up. A bunch of dark stuff popped up. So that's really interesting. So I'm really interested to see what this has to say. It's only an 11-minute video, which I'm actually really surprised because I mean, I guess there's only one battle. I figured it'd be more than two parts. If this was more than two parts, I don't know if I would have done it right now. Probably would have waited a while. But the fact that it's only two parts, that's why I'm doing it now. I mean, I guess down the line, I'll probably end up doing more. Actually, I don't even know because I don't know what this is about. So, anyways, we're going to get into the video, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe button below. Please and thank you Really appreciate that. And we're going to get right into the video. Vlad the Impaler. I wonder how many of you guys watching this know just about as much as I do, or how much you probably know, like really experts on Vlad the Impaler. It'd be kind of interesting to know. Anyways, 3, 2, 1, bam. Okay, I'm sorry. What year is this? Because I know Michael the Brave was like 1500s, right? And so this has to be like he's related to Michael the Brave, and that was generations beforehand. So I'm assuming this is like a couple hundred years earlier. I'm sure they're going to tell me here in a second, but anyways.
Brothers Vlad and Radu, sons of the former Vlachian Prince Vlad II, grew up in the Ottoman court as princely hostages, educated in the same Muslim spirit as their friend, young Mehmed II, the future Ottoman Sultan. As he matured, Vlad served with distinction with the elite Janissaries and was praised for his soldierly qualities. But his roughness and fearless resistance to becoming a Muslim made him subject to brutal punishments. Vlad hasn't forgotten this, even years after he deserted the Ottoman court to join the Hungarian ranks.
So he was punished because he didn't want to become a Muslim? Did I get that right? Damn. That's already starting off rough. Like, he's definitely starting off from like a bad childhood, so interesting. I'm going to go back just a little bit just to make sure I heard that
Fearless
right.
Resistance to becoming a Muslim made him subject to brutal punishments. Vlad hasn't forgotten this, even years after he deserted the Ottoman court to join the Hungarian ranks.
History March. Just shout out to History March, amazing channel. I've done a couple of series from them, notably Michael the Brave and Hannibal, so definitely check that stuff out. It's really good stuff. And definitely check out their channel. I know I've kind of just like reached the surface of them. I'm going to do a lot more in the future, but anyway, shout out to History March. Amazing channel. Okay, here we go. 1450K, there we go.
Wishing to dominate the last increment of the Danube River, the Crescent of Islam clashes with the Cross of Christianity at Belgrade in July of 1456. Led by Sultan Mehmed II, the Ottomans are defeated and forced to make a humiliating retreat. But after years of conflict, the Hungarian army also suffers great losses in men and materials. This creates a window of opportunity for young Vlad. Placed in charge of protecting the Transylvanian border by the Hungarian king, Vlad uses his position to exploit the military power vacuum and marches into Vlachia ahead of a small mercenary force. But is soon opposed by the incumbent Vladislav II near Targshaw. The two leaders agree to decide the battle with a knightly duel. And amidst cheers from the two armies, Vlad wins the duel and kills Vladislav.
What?
He then...
That was a thing back then? I thought that only happened in like movies. Because I've seen movies where that happened, or it was suggested that it could happen to save the armies from destruction, or their best warrior. Most notably, I think it was the movie Troy, where they had the best warriors fight each other, and then the winner being both armies, if I remember correctly from that movie. But wow, I didn't really expect that at all. Obviously, the loser's going to die, and I guess he's going to get their army too. I mean, I think that makes complete sense. Why not have the leaders fight each other, and it saves a lot of bloodshed. But wow, goes to prove that both these guys are pretty. They're both manned up and decided to fight each other. That was pretty cool, though.
Vlad wins the duel and kills Vladislav. He then proceeds to march unopposed into the Vlachian capital of Targoviste. There he crowns himself as Voivode of Vlachia in August 1456. His divine right to the throne is confirmed the following night by a spectacular comet in the night sky. Wasting no time, Vlad hires his own uniformed mercenary army and moves to consolidate his power and reform the country. He enforces taxes on the boyars who were previously all but free from taxation. Furthermore, he eliminates those plotting to kill him, going after powerful boyars responsible for the killing of his father and brother. Their estates are confiscated and given to the peasants who, in exchange, are to be trained during post-harvest months for military service. Vlad rids Vlahia of people who pollute the land. Thieves are impaled, beggars, homeless and the plague-infested are burned alive in barns. In Vlad's opinion, they depart earthly sufferings for a better afterlife. He further centralizes his realm by building fortresses and churches and expands the capital of Targoviste and other cities. He also creates a princely order by naming the best soldiers Vitaz, meaning brave. These knights become the new nobility who support only Vlad Tepes. He undertakes road construction to enhance domestic and international trade revenue. He gives subsidies to handymen to open their businesses and encourages the middle class with partial tax exemption. Installs custom posts at the borders, forcing foreign merchants to pay taxes when travelling through or doing business in Vlahia, which greatly enriches the treasury. For all intents and...
Dang. So, like, anybody, like the beggars and thieves, anybody who might, like, hold his country back or slow it down, he's like, I'm having none of that, you're dead. And so basically, if you're one of the, if you're homeless, you're just anyone on the very low end of the spectrum, he's kind of going to get rid of you just so you don't hold the rest of them back from progress. That's pretty ruthless. But wow, but like if you had a lot of promise in you and he knew that, you could kind of help, things like, if you had like a handyman, like you said, like, something you could really help, he helped you out and tried to, push those people because he knew that would help, the society and all whatever, whatnot. So, wow. I mean, he's definitely a leader that kind of like, expects a lot from his people, and he's pushing for it. He wants the best. He's pushing for the best, and you better be at your best or else you're going to be impaled pretty much. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I didn't expect that, sir.
and purposes, Vlad rules and enriches the treasury. For all intents and purposes, Vlad rules his realm with confidence and an iron fist, and he soon goes after his rival.
Exactly. Iron
Grammarly
fist.
can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work.
Rivals. By 1458, Vlachian army begins raiding Saxon-dominated Transylvania, bringing carnage to communities which shelter many of Vlad's rivals to the crown. He orders suspected traitors to be impaled in full view of residents and attempts to burn the monumental Black Church of Brasov. He also regains possession of Bran Castle, once owned by his grandfather.
Wow.
Needless to say, by 1460, the Saxon establishment in Transylvania is furious.
I just want to say, obviously, the name is Vlad the Impaler for a reason, and I just didn't expect to be this many people impaled already. I mean, so yeah, definitely getting his name. No wonder why I call him that, because I haven't seen a history video yet where people were impaled. I don't believe at all. So, yeah, and they've already mentioned it a few times. So, wow. Definitely earned his nickname.
Needless to say, by 1460, the Saxon establishment in Transylvania is furious. But their bitter complaints about Vlad's cruelty fall on the deaf ears of King Matthias. The unhappy merchants seek their own justice by deciding to eliminate the Vlachian voivode and replace him with Dan III, one of the men behind the murder of Vlad's father and brother. But it soon proves to be a doomed venture as Vlad gets word of their operation and ambushes their army.
Wow.
Again, rising to the occasion, Vlad Tepes humiliates Dan III in a spectacular duel. Then he...
I want to say this again about the duel. Like, this is totally surprising me that I have another duel here. I'm guessing Vlad was a very great swordsman. I mean, the victor usually writes the history, so like things might be a total opposite of what they say. Well, not total opposite, but different. But you know, he fought with an iron fist. Do you think he kind of fought these people unfairly, or do you think he just straight up was just that kind of man, like, okay, you want to come at me and just like fight, or do you think maybe there was some shenanigans or whatever in these battles because he was pretty brutal? Uh, I don't know. But it seems like a pretty stand up dude. Like, okay, you want to fight me? Let's do it. So I'm liking that. I really liking this duel stuff, man. I mean, it just makes sense.
He forces him to dig his own grave in full view of his men before he is decapitated and his followers impaled.
Wow.
Further raids into duchies which refused Vlad's rule lead to the massacre of tens of thousands of civilians. And by now, the greatly displeased King Matthias realizes that his Transylvanian province is threatened. An agreement is reached with Vlad Tepes. The Saxons agree to return all of Vlad's rivals and dissidents, pay 15,500 forints, and supply soldiers. In exchange, Vlad promises to stop the Ottomans from entering Transylvania. With most of his rivals dead and his northwestern border secured, the Vlachian voivode projects his power further by building a new Vlachian capital closer to the Danube. Located in the marshes of the Targoviste River, Bucharest is surrounded by natural moats infested with leeches, snakes, and mosquitoes. Good natural deterrents for any invading army. From his new capital, Vlad Tepes hopes to unite all Vlachs into one kingdom and, confident of his power, he provides military aid to Prince Stefan, who is attempting to take the throne of Moldavia, dutifully keeping his oath of loyalty he'd given to his cousin. In response to Vlad's collaboration with Stefan, a fast-moving Ottoman force embarks on a campaign of pillage and rape in southern Vlachia. After their raid, the Ottoman retreat is slowed by the plunder and prisoners, and before they can reach the Danube, the Ottomans are intercepted by Vlad's cavalry. Only a few Turks live to cross the Danube and tell the tale. Considering the Ottoman raid to be a violation of the treaty he has with Sultan Mehmed, Vlad refuses to pay yearly tribute and to pledge vassalage. Now he faces the mighty Ottoman army, but he hopes that the crusade called by Pope Pius against the Ottomans will relieve some of the pressure on Vlachia. But with European kingdoms embroiled in intrigue and warfare against each other, hardly anyone commits to the Christian cause, and by 1461, the Pope's call for a crusade rings hollow. Left to face the Ottomans alone, Vlad agrees to pay tribute and send young boys.
I guess this is just another way to plug one of my videos. I've done the First Crusade, the Third Crusade, and the Fourth Crusade. So yeah, definitely check that out. Dang, all these videos are intertwining. It's kind of crazy and cool. All right.
Hollow. Left to face the Ottomans alone, Vlad agrees to pay tribute and send young boys to be trained as janissaries. Around this time, one of Vlad's most trusted and valuable allies, Mihail Szilágy, is captured in Bulgaria by the Ottomans. Considered to be a spy, he is brought to Constantinople, where he is tortured and eventually sawed in half.
Oh my god.
Soon after, a 10,000-strong Ottoman contingent enters Vlachia to collect the tribute and the new recruits, led by the commander of Nicopolis, Hamza Pasha. Seeing the large force, Vlad suspects that Hamza's real mission is to capture him. The Vlachian voivode reacts and attacks the approaching Ottoman contingent with full force, decimating them down to a man. He impales thousands of dead Turks around Targoviste and sends Hamza's head in a jar to King Matthias as proof of the Vlachian commitment to fight the Ottomans. But despite this, he receives no reply and no help from the Hungarian king.
Oh my god, this guy's brutal, man. God. Oh my god, dude. I wouldn't even want to be friends with this dude. I feel like, I don't know, man, if I don't know, if you beat him at cards or something, he'd impale you or something. Wow, this guy is brutal. Wow. People around him must have lived in fear. I couldn't live around that area. I'd have to move.
But despite this, he receives no reply and no help from the Hungarian king.
Oh, boy.
Vlad spends the rest of 1461 training his army for war and fortifies Bucharest with heavy palisades and brick bastions, installing cannons along the fortification perimeter. Aware that Mehmed's armies are fighting in Anatolia, Vlad prepares to raid Ottoman territory. And in early 1462, while en route to cross the frozen Danube, Vlachian cavalry stops not far from Giurgiu, one of the strongest heavily fortified northern Ottoman military bases. Dressed as a high-ranking Ottoman official ahead of his entourage, Vlad Tepes approaches the fortress on a snowy day and, speaking in perfect Turkish, orders the garrison commander to open the gates. The sentries let him in, believing he must be an important official as he is travelling with many bodyguards. Upon entering, Vlad's men silence the sentries and open the gates wide for the rest of the Vlachian cavalry to rush in and take over the fortress. They slaughter the Ottoman garrison and set their quarters ablaze after looting them.
Wow, smart though.
What followed next would fuel the legend of Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, yeah?
Over the next 2 weeks, his cavalrymen engage in raids that cover 800 kilometers along the frozen Danube all the way to the Black Sea. Aiming to destroy bridgeheads that the Ottomans might use to cross the Vlachia, Vlad's army sacks Ottoman and other non-Christian settlements on the Bulgarian Danube riverbank and continues to raid south into Ottoman territory over the next few months. For the Vlachs living in Bulgaria since Dacian times, these are blessed days. At least for a time, they regain their freedom from the Ottoman yoke. Countless numbers of them join the fight, either seeking revenge or because they believe in Vlad's mission. The news spreads like wildfire about the carnage left in the wake of Vlad's mini-crusade. The Vlachian voivode now hopes that more Christians will rally to his banner to fight off the mighty Ottomans.
Dang. See him as the savior. His own little crusade. Okay. I see what you're doing there, Vlad. In his letter to King Matthias in February 1462, Vlad attempts asked for help to continue the fight. The prince listed the name of important locations he had destroyed, among them Droster, a bunch of different kind of names, and much of it. No help came. Wow. All right, big thing of it, blah, blah. And wow, so there you go. Vlad the Impaler, Battle of Targoviste. So, wow. That was basically that wasn't just like a battle, though. That was kind of like a whole kind of just how he became to be and then him getting his power. And I thought we're just going to go just a one battle and we weren't going to hear much backstory or any other kind of battle. So that's really surprising right there. So that's really awesome. That's really neat, actually. I'm just kind of curious what the next one is. Battle hit part 2, the night attack. Okay, well, that's the next one. But wow. So that dude is ruthless. Definitely ruthless. Very smart though. He's very smart. And he's getting people on his side though. I'm really curious to see how this turns out, and I'm assuming, they're gonna tell us how he dies, and not just leave us on a cliffhanger for future episodes. I'm guessing, or future videos. I don't know, but wow, interesting. What did you guys think? It definitely surprised me. I didn't, I knew he was gonna be ruthless, obviously because of the name, but you really think that ruthless, sending people's heads in jars and really impaling a lot of people and destroying, if you're a homeless or something, he was just going to kill you, man. If you're low end of the totem pole, you're dead, man. If you have nothing to offer him, you're dead. But obviously he made schools and he trained, gave money for training and stuff. So obviously he has some good things behind that, but obviously the ruthlessness and the impalement is definitely going to overshadow uh, any kind of good he does, because like I said, rules over an iron fist. But he's not. I mean, a lot of his people loved him apparently. So he was doing good with schools and helping out a lot of people with their trades and everything. So that was definitely very impressive and surprising, because I definitely expected some ruthlessness. I didn't think they would actually say anything maybe about, I guess, really the great qualities like that. So that was definitely cool to see. So yeah, definitely awesome video. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Hope you guys are too. Please hit that like and subscribe button below. And let me know what you guys think. Vlad the Impaler. It'd be really awesome to know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah, I will catch you guys in future videos. Peace. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Peace. You guys have a great night.